But sources tell ABC News a preliminary Pentagon report indicates the damage was limited, saying Iran's nuclear program was only set back a few months.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Donald Trump was furious with both Iran and particularly Israel for not respecting the deal.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps...
We often see President Trump exasperated, but never actually swearing like this.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Group, Iran said, let's stop this. And you know what? Israel said it too. Very smart. They fought like hell, and then they said, let's stop. And they're going to build themselves. And I really see it as sticking. I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I just want to get your attention. Hey, girl. I really want to be all up in your head. Yeah. If you say daddy's home for me. I know you've been waiting for this lovely day. You know your daddy's home.
We are back with a Fox News alert. Socialist Zohran Mamdani declaring victory as the new Democrat nominee for New York City mayor after former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo concedes.
We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism, to stop mass ICE agents from deporting our neighbors, and to govern our city as a model for the Democratic Party.
We on now. They respect us cause we on now. Why they party? I'm in here grinding. Money I'm stacking. Why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't much in common. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it, it hit different.
What it do, baby? It's your partner Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of the Counter Move podcast here on Thursday evening, guys. Thanks for checking in with your partner. If you don't mind, man, this has been a good week for your partner. Very productive week. If you could do me a favor, guys, like and subscribe if you're liking what you're hearing, guys. If you don't mind, if you could share. There's a little button. It really depends on what platform you're on, but hit that bell, guys, and you get to, all that means is you get to watch me for free. All right, guys. Well, guys, thanks so much for your time. But guys, let's dive into our topics today, guys. This has been a very, 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 very eventful week, guys. Here are the topics for today. Number one, man, the U.S. strikes Iran, and also Iran actually attacked the U.S. base as well. But also a ceasefire has been negotiated between Iran and Israel. Oof. Number two, man, leaked intelligence report about Iran, the strike sites, man. There's a story behind that one too, and I got my own opinion about that one too, guys. Don't you worry, your partner got you. Number three, Trump's trip to NATO, man. Trump had a little swagger when he was there at NATO, man. It's gonna be good to talk about this one, man. So, and Trump is the king of trolling, and so you go see him troll a little bit today, guys. And lastly, man, the New York City had their primaries for the Democrat and Republican mayoral office election coming up, and a socialist, Democratic Socialist, not based on what I'm saying, what he said is now he actually won the Democrat primary. And normally in New York City, the Democrat wins the election. So, man, we're going to talk about that too, and how a lot of the top 1%, 2, 3, 4, 5% are responding to the possibility of this guy becoming the mayor. He got some strange ideas, guys. Some strange ideas. But don't worry, you're probably got to. Let's dive into the first one, guys. Man, the U.S. launched attacks on Iran. There are 3 sites. We saw that, guys, right? And also, Iran came back and attacked the U.S. base in Qatar, man. Let's unpack this from the get-go, guys. And I'm going to give you my commentary on this entire thing as well. All right, guys, let's dive in this thing real fast. Here we go. Let's get it. No, wrong one. I got no. I need to be big for your party. There we go. There we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Here's Brett Baer. Here's the announcement of the attacks. Let's get it in real fast. Here we go.
This is a Fox News.
1 second, guys. My bad, y'all. 1 second. I can't hear it, so I need to hear it talking. Give me a second. This is live time. Come on. My bad, y'all. 1 second. Here we go. And we have gotten it. Lord, 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, it's all good. There we go. Boom. There it is. Boom. Now we're good to go. Let's get it in. Here we go.
Alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. Again, this from President Donald Trump. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, that's just seconds ago from President Donald Trump on Truth Social, suggesting that those B-2 bombers that perhaps were on the way may have been behind this. We'll get more details on these 3 sites that the president said has been attacked inside Iran. This comes after days of negotiations to try to get Iran to the negotiating table. The President of the United States saying it would have to be unconditional surrender, saying enrichment would have to stop. We heard from negotiations in Europe that was not being accepted by the Iranians, that they would not stop enriching uranium. There was a thought that this could go as long as 2 weeks, as the president said he would decide within 2 weeks. However, 2 days is within 2 weeks. And now word from President Donald Trump that these attacks have happened. Again, interesting that 3 sites have been struck by U.S. bombers. And this, again, we'll get more information about the exact.
Now, guys, when I first heard this kind of shocked me a little bit. I said, wait a minute, because I was talking to my little sister, Suni, about this, and I was like, you know what, that's going to happen. And of course, 24 hours later, we're hearing about an attack, right? And this kind of shocked me a little bit. So I wanted to see, how did it look? I want to get to some details about what actually happened, and to hear that B-52 bombers flew 20 hours there and 20 hours back. And there was no alert to Iran. I'm going to get to that in a second, and I got the receipts. Don't you worry about it. Now, let's look at how this actually came to fruition. this entire thing, let me get to it real fast. And it just, one sec here, guys. My computer is really giving me some fits today, but it's all good. We're gonna muscle through. What I wanted to see is like, how did all this take place? Because of the fact that here it is. Here it is. Now, let's dive into this next one. Let's look at how it actually happened, guys. They filmed this, and these, I gotta say, these military guys are a beast. Listen to what's going on. I couldn't have did this.
The mission began with deception. Under the cover of darkness, shortly after midnight, Operation Midnight Hammer launched early Saturday morning. 9 B-2 stealth bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, but 2 acted as decoys, flying west over the Pacific for all to see and a scheduled refueling in the skies near Hawaii with a follow-on flight to Guam. But 7 B-2s did not fly west. They quietly peeled away and secretly flew east with minimal communication. Their destination? Iran's underground nuclear facilities.
Wow.
First into Iran were American fighter jets to also serve as decoys and draw fire from the Iranians. The B-2s then entered Iranian airspace at 6 p.m. Eastern, just after 2 a.m. local. 40 minutes later, 14 massive bunker-busting bombs were released by the B-2s.
Wow.
12 hit the underground nuclear site in Fordow, 2 hit Natanz. At the same time, those 15-ton bombs from the B-2s hit their targets. 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a guided missile submarine slammed into Isfahan, with its centrifuges buried even deeper than Fordow. The strike package then bugged out of Iranian airspace and returned to their base in Missouri this afternoon to complete their 37-hour round-trip mission. The B-2s were refueled at least 3 times in midair each way. Over 125 aircraft were involved in the strike. The initial battle damage assessment was provided by President Trump last night.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
His top military advisor said this the morning after.
Initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the mission against Iran is not open-ended and is not about regime change.
So again, guys, that was I got the strategy there was phenomenal on the decoys, things of that nature. Now, before we get to the Iran response, guys, which was which was kind of laughable, I want you guys to understand what just happened. Okay, and I kept this up here just for a brief second. You mean to tell me all those planes flew from Missouri over the UK, over France, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, and then to Iran, and nobody said nothing? So you essentially had a number of planes flying into other countries' airspaces, and nobody said nothing. Interesting. Here's another thing. About 60 plus days ago, President Donald Trump, right? We can get rid of this for a second. President Donald Trump, all right? He was sitting down with 2 countries. He flew over. There was a big old deal, big deal. He was flying with 2 countries. 2 countries, guys, 2 countries. What were those countries over in the Middle East? There were what? Saudi Arabia and Qatar. 2 of the top 3 oil producers in the world. Top 2 is, of course, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Who was Qatar's chief partner? Qatar. And it just so happens President Donald Trump visited Qatar and Saudi Arabia 60 days before this thing, 60 plus days. Interesting. You don't think that there was some discussion about we can not let us pass through in exchange of a deal being done? Because you saw what Saudi Arabia and Qatar did. They're investing trillions in the U.S. There was a deal there. going on. A great deal. Phenomenal deal. Yeah, y'all. Strategy. And I got to give it to him. The strategy was off the chain, guys. Now, real quickly now, and also if you hear after the bombing and go listen to President Trump, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, and I believe the Joint Chief of Staff, the chairman of that, they had a lot of confidence post-bombing. Basically, they were saying to Iran, I wish a player would. I wish you would respond. Confidence. What did they know? What did they know? And to be honest with you guys, the discipline for nothing to be leaked, nothing, no liberal outlet, independent outlet, podcast, or conservative outlet knew about this bombing until after it happened. Discipline. That leads me to conclude there was a small sphere of individuals that knew what was going on. So if it leaked, they knew who the leaker was. Now, Iran did respond. What did they do? I'm glad you asked, guys. Let's go and see their response real fast, because you had the media saying, well, they're going to respond. They're going to respond. Let's see how Iran respond. Remember, post-bombing, the U.S. had their chest out and said, I wish a player would respond. How did Iran respond? Let's see. Here we go.
Breaking news, Iran has retaliated against the United States.
Iranian missiles were fired at U.S. military bases in the Middle East nations of Qatar and Iraq, but it's being seen as a largely symbolic attack.
At this time, there are no reports of U.S. casualties.
President Trump actually said, I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony.
So, stop right there. So you had the liberal media and also some conservatives, and I would say some podcasters, independent media, come out and saying, hey, Iran is going to respond. I mean, what they're going to do. These Bamas shot out missiles, right, into Qatar. They go Qatar again. We went nod. And to Qatar. And not only that, they actually gave notice. Alert the U.S. government, hey, we're finna fire some missiles at your base. This is only symbolic, real, to be honest with you. So what powerhouse militarily tells its opponent, I'm about to attack you? This bombing wounded Iran in a certain way, because an opponent who doesn't like the U.S. is not going to announce their retaliation and say this is really symbolic. What the hell? There was some damage done to those sites. What it is, we don't know yet fully. We don't know yet, but we're going to get to that in a second. But I'm just looking at the context clues. And there's one country that's involved in both of this. Qatar. Now, I'm not saying that Qatar, Saudi Arabia knew all of the details, because they would have leaked it. They knew something. Hey, if we would have decided to do something, if it called to do something, hey, would you be? That was probably the discussion between Trump and them. And again, it's really a soft move for Iran to be bloviating all over the place. And then when it comes to retaliating, you announce we're going to attack you here at this time frame to let you know what's going on. And this is going to be just symbolic, okay? So we can save face. Trash! Soft. It's very soft. That lets me know, yeah, we got a big stick. A big stick. Big stick. Now, guys, let's go over to this leak. There is a leak of plans, right? A report of on Iran nuclear strikes, right? There was a leak. There was one leak, And CNN was actually the one that actually reported this. Let's listen to it real fast, y'all. Let's listen to it because of the fact that, to be honest with you, I got some thoughts behind this one too. And I'm going to give it to you in a second. Don't you worry. You probably got it here. Here we go. Let's get it in.
President Trump will continue meeting with world leaders today at the NATO summit. This comes as questions continue to be raised about how much damage was done to Iran's nuclear sites.
A leaked Pentagon report paints a different picture than the president's claims that the sites were wiped out. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more from Washington.
This morning, President Trump at the NATO summit in the Netherlands meeting with world leaders just hours after he announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. The president doubling down on his claim that the Iranian nuclear sites were completely destroyed from the U.S. strikes.
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished.
But sources tell ABC News a preliminary Pentagon report indicates the damage was limited, saying Iran's nuclear program was only set back a few months.
Really?
The preliminary report from the Defense Intelligence Agency and U.S. Central Command says that much of Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium was not destroyed because it was moved before the U.S. struck. 900 pounds of near-weapons-grade uranium is also unaccounted for, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. Lawmakers like the top Senate intelligence Democrat who have attacked the White House for being kept in the dark on the strikes remain critical after reviewing the classified report on the damage.
We also have got questions about where all of Iran's enriched uranium is located at this point. And if it's not taken out, what next? Are our troops still in harm's way?
But a top U.S. military commander says even after Saturday's attack, Iran remains a serious threat to U.S. forces in the Middle East.
They do. They possess considerable tactical capability.
Back at the NATO summit, the conflict in the Middle East still looms large, along with a host of issues, including the unresolved Russia-Ukraine war and Trump's controversial comments about whether America will be faithful to alliance's core mutual defense pact. Meanwhile, the special...
So, guys, that right there there was a leak of Pentagon report on one of the Iranian strikes. And they were saying, the leak said it was not as successful as President Trump actually said. Then you saw the administration, specifically the president and the Secretary of Defense, and also the vice president and the Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman came out viciously against this report, and they were pissed. So let's listen a little bit to the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, right, to see what's going on. And we can see what's going on, and we can comment from there. Here we go.
Begin today with reaction to a historic press briefing at the Pentagon this morning. Wow, did this one deliver? We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. Nothing's coming to mind in my history as a reporter. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane delivering an update on President Trump's strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend. And it was fascinating.
Wow.
Secretary Hegseth calling the bombings, quote, a resounding success.
Okay.
And said it was the most complex and secretive military operation in history. And I don't know about that. Like developing the atom bomb was pretty big. It was complex and it was secretive. But I take his point. It was one of. I think that's probably what he meant to say. He said the bombings directly led to a ceasefire agreement. True. And an end to what the administration is calling the 12-day war between Israel and Iran. And the defense secretary took the media in that room to task because the Pentagon media has been a failure, a total and utter failure in reporting on this administration and in particular this mission for not playing it straight on this. I mean, yes, it's the Trump administration, so they would love praise, but that's not the media's job. But just play it straight. You know, normally there's not an instinct, or shouldn't be, to shit all over the military heroes after they risk their lives. Damn. That's really not been our thing since Vietnam, and then we learned those lessons.
So,
it is a strain of leftism. They veered dangerously close to doing that when the Iraq War got launched. But for some reason now, because Trump is the commander in chief, I guess it's fine to just not give any credit to the brave pilots who conducted this mission. I mean, truly risked their lives to conduct this mission. It's just more important to rip on Trump, you see. And Hegseth knows that, both as a former member of the military and as defense secretary and a key part of the Trump administration himself. So he went after them for how they've covered Operation Midnight Hammer, that's what they're calling this, based on a selective leak from what we know was a preliminary low confidence intelligence assessment. Let me just tell you something. You know, Catherine Herridge, we worked together at Fox News for many years. She was our intel reporter over there. Then she went to CBS and did it for many years. And this is what she said in a post today on preliminary assessments labeled low confidence. In the hierarchy of intel reports, a preliminary assessment with low confidence would not carry much weight.
Not at all.
It's an early snapshot that concedes the picture will likely change as more intelligence is developed. Based on that, so that's normally why the Pentagon would not release such a thing to the public. But some asshole within the Pentagon working for the Defense Intelligence Agency leaked it. And who did this person go to? They went to a reporter by the name of Natasha Bertrand, who is the person who has been the best stenographer for deep state type intel operatives. This is the person who had the scoop on how 51 intelligence agents say the Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation. She led the reporting on Russiagate info. We'll have more on her later. But my point is simply, there's a reason that some Trump hater within the Pentagon went to a different Trump hater now working for CNN, who's got a long history of Trump hating that has completely undermined any credibility this young woman hoped to have. She's very young, but she keeps getting awards and Emmys because if you just say terrible things about Trump, especially if you can put an intel source behind them, you'll win awards. In any event, she's the one who got this whole thing started, saying the operation was a failure. It was a fucking failure. Sorry. And so now it's now at the point where you've got the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Secretary of Defense, because the media ran with this, as snowballed, going out there to say, just sit down, okay? Sit down. And by the way, neither the New York Times nor CNN even noted that this preliminary assessment was of, quote, low confidence in their initial reports on this. We pointed this out in AM Update. Neither one pointed out that the assessment was of low confidence. Wow. Do you think that might be relevant? Could that be relevant? Yeah. You know, maybe the audience should be told that.
Wow.
You know, just asking. Here's Hegseth this morning.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Secretary Hegseth then turned the press conference over to Chairman Kaine, who revealed the extraordinary skill and true heroism of service members whose stories seldom reach the public. It's so extraordinary to get a play-by-play like this. He began by describing exactly how the military shot down those 14 missiles heading at them. Iran fired them in the wake of our dropping the bombs on Iranian nuclear sites. And this was Iran's retaliation, you'll recall, against American air bases. One went, I think, to Iraq, but in Qatar on Monday.
Roughly 44 American soldiers responsible for defending the entire base, to include CENTCOM's forward headquarters in the Middle East. The oldest soldier was a 28-year-old captain.
Wow.
The youngest was a 21-year-old private who'd been in the military for less than 2 years.
Wow.
You, at that age, are the sole person responsible to defend this base. These awesome humans, along with their Qatari brothers and sisters in arms, stood between a salvo of Iranian missiles and the safety of Al-Udeid. They are the unsung heroes of the 21st century United States Army.
He described.
So again, guys, I wanted to kind of let that go a little bit longer because I wanted to give the entire context of this leak report, how it was selective and kind of manipulated in some form of fashion as far as the presentation of it. And then, of course, floated out to the legacy media, and they took it like a bone and began reporting on it. Now, I have my thoughts about this whole thing. And now I want they come on me. All right, y'all. I believe that this report, guys, was. Let me begin like this here. All right. The most important thing, Trump has to fight 4 battles when it comes to narratives. The first fight he has to fight is with the legacy media. The second is with the neocons on the Republican side. The third, the Democratic side. And then the fourth, legacy media, the deep state. Right? So he has 4 battles he has to fight against as far as narratives. So Trump loves to control the narrative. And I think that's a wise thing to do when you have 4 opponents who are always on duty waiting for you to slip up. All right. So I think that's a good thing for him. Now, this is Liddell's opinion. Mine. I don't have any facts at all to confirm this. This is just my opinion. Okay. I believe that this leak was manufactured to control the narrative. I believe that the Trump administration knew that there will be a search of trying to find the results of the bombing. I believe the bombing did wound Iran in a serious way. They did, because not because of what Liddell says. Look at Iran's response, announcing to your opponent that you're going to be retaliating and it's just for show. Yeah, that bomb wounded you. How much? Don't know. So Trump understanding this and his squad understanding this is part of the entire plan. This is my opinion, just mine. Okay. Because of this, now what happens is you have Trump doing this, and they have this part of the plan. So what do you do to control the narrative? Knowing what your opponent, the 4 levels of resistance with Trump when it comes to narratives and agenda, what are they going to do? Very simple. They're going to try to discredit the attack, discredit the bombing, the results of it, because Trump then came out and said it was an amazing success. We obliterated the facilities and the capabilities to be able to make a nuclear weapon. We're good. Everything is great. Immediately, you begin to see the legacy media try to figure out what's going on, and then you have a leak. I believe that this leak report, guys, was a part of the PR plan of the Trump administration. I believe it. Again, this is my opinion. So they gave the legacy media what they wanted. They even fished it through one of their favorite reporters, as Megyn Kelly was talking about, right? Fed it to the reporters. That reporter, and it flooded all the way through, which gave the administration time to exactly what they wanted, just to rebuttal that. Like, see, you guys are really going after this, and they begin to rebuttal what the media was reporting. And in my opinion, this was exactly what the Trump administration wanted to do, to control the narrative. Notice how we're not talking about at length the results of the bombing. It's about the leaked report. And the media, and this is really on them, chewed it up, selectively took stuff out, right, and reported it. Sure did. I believe, guys, this was part of the Trump administration plan the whole time. I believe they leaked their report. And from a strategy standpoint, brilliant. How do you begin to outwit your opponent? You beat them to the narrative. You beat them. And Trump did. Bravo. Bravo. On strategy, bravo. I believe that. And Pete Hegseth, you are a great actor, brother. He is. He can sail. Yes, he can. He can sail. Again, this is my opinion. I may be wrong. And that's okay. It's just, yeah. I can see the strategy. Yes, sir. Man. Now, guys, NATO, man. NATO. Oh, we got people from Canada. What's up, y'all? We got people from Canada. What's up, baby? How y'all doing from Canada? Canada. What's up, baby? How you doing? Anyways, back to now, guys. NATO. Oh man, I don't have a thing for NATO. Do I? Let me check real fast, guys. Trump went to NATO, right? My man's and them went to NATO, and he had a good little time in NATO, y'all. A good little old time in NATO, right? A good little old time. So let's look at this NATO thing real fast, guys, real quickly. And it was a victorious time as well. You don't believe me? Let's check. Let's see what's going down. Here we go. Let's dive in this first. Here we go.
Well, the intelligence was very inconclusive. The intelligence says we don't know. It could have been very severe. That's what the intelligence says. So I guess that's correct. But I think we can take the we don't know. It was very severe. It was obliteration. And you'd think that a media outlet would say, isn't that a great thing? I mean, more importantly for the pilots, for the military, you take their guts out. You take their absolute guts out. They had a tremendous attack. It was a complete obliteration. The other team, the other group, Iran, said, let's stop this. And you know what? Israel said it too. Very smart. They fought like hell, and then they said, let's stop. And they're going to build themselves. And I really see it as sticking. I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I think we have to join the others.
Yes, we're going to join.
Did he call Trump daddy? My man called Donald Trump daddy. That's what he did. My dude called Trump daddy. And Trump, being the chief troller of this thing, guys, you know, Trump had to jump on that real fast, y'all. And he chose the perfect song for this, guys. The perfect song, which is, my man called Trump daddy. Well, I'll get this up real fast. Let me find it again. I thought I had this already. I had this all set up already, guys, but it didn't. Well, that sucks. Give me one sec here, guys. Well, oh, here it is. Gotcha at the top. I got you, baby. Oh, here we go. All right, guys. Watch this, guys. Trump is the chief troller in chief, guys. This guy, after being called daddy, right? After being called daddy, this comes up. I want y'all to enjoy this. Here we go.
Attention. Hey girl. I really wanna be all up in your head. Yeah. Is it you say daddy's home for me? I know you've been waiting for this loving all day. You know your daddy's home and time says, yeah. So you ain't got to give my love away. So when you say, hey daddy. So when you say, I ain't gotta do a lot of flexing.
Wow. Real.
Shawty, you already know what it is.
Real.
Yeah. So when you say, hey, call me daddy, babe. You gotta know me till I had it.
I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God. Guys, and this is the part I like. This is the part I like right here. Here we go. Right here. Here's the part I like right now. This is the perfect part when Usher come in. Here we go.
Shawty, you already know what it
Right here.
is. Yeah. So when you say,
he had all the they put the part where all the media was said, all my ladies say, but that is classic Trump. You have got to be kidding me. Wow. Wow. Hey. And I gotta say, guys, to be honest with you, it was a success for President Trump when it comes to NATO. Now, why was it a success? Well, I didn't say this at all. The general of NATO stated that Trump wanted 2% increase in defense contribution to NATO. Trump delivered 5% from other countries. Other countries they didn't give 2, they gave 5. That is, and he said that's strictly because of Trump. That's it. Trump. That's crazy, y'all. Wow. That is crazy. All I know, guys, is Trump is the chief troller. I mean, he can troll his ass off, man. His ass off, man. Canada's doing that now. Okay. We got. Well, I see you, Gene. What's up, baby? How you doing? Canada's doing that now. You said people in U.S. has no. Oh, wow. No way. Yes, way, brother. That's what we do, brother. That's what we do. Now, back to the show, guys. Yo, man. Hey, New York, what the hell going on? New York, what the hell is going on? These Bamas in New York on the Democrat side elected a self-proclaimed socialist in their Democrat primary for the mayoral, the mayor office, right? To be mayor of New York City. This dude's a socialist, right? Now, let's listen to this real quickly, the announcement of this. And then what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to then turn around. We're going to then turn around, guys, and do this here is we're going to turn around, guys, and listen to a real life entrepreneur talk about the effects of a socialist becoming mayor of New York. Let's listen. Here we go.
Are back with a Fox News alert. Socialist Zohran Mamdani declaring victory as the new Democrat nominee for New York City mayor after former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo concedes.
Tonight was Assemblyman Mamdani's night, and he put together a great campaign, and he touched young people and inspired them. I called him, I congratulated him, I applaud him sincerely for his effort.
In a speech to supporters, Mamdani laying out his vision for the city.
We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism, to stop mass ICE agents from deporting our neighbors, and to govern our city as a model for the Democratic Party.
The primary now heads to a ranked choice count beginning next Tuesday after no Democrat got the majority of the vote. Carly.
So, guys, you heard it right. The Democrat Party in New York has elected a socialist to represent them for the New York mayor's race in New York City. The promises that he's making them didn't make any sense at all. You don't believe me? Let's listen to the promises this dude is making. And folks really voted for this. They really did. Here we go. Let's get it in.
New York City mayor on the Democratic primary, Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo. This is not something people expected. He's a 33-year-old former rapper who said a lot of weird things. He says he's going to make childcare free for everybody, buses free for everybody. There's a lot of things that's going to be given free. He's a communist. Some call him a socialist, Muslim. There's certain things that he has. They're calling New York that could be possibly the next London. New York could turn into the next Dearborn, could turn into the next Detroit. There's a lot of concerns there. It is so bad with what they're talking about with New York that even Ryan Serhant, who is the big real estate influencer, this is the type of guy that puts up properties for sale in New York for $200+ million. That's who he represents. That's who those clients want to do business with. And here's what he had to say. Luxury real estate broker says wealthy New Yorkers are already looking to flee after Zohran Mamdani's primary win. Rob, if you can go to the next page on that Instagram post. Within minutes of Zohran Mamdani clinching the Democratic nomination Tuesday night, real estate agents like Ryan Serhant were flooded with calls from clients looking to walk away from deals to buy apartments in New York City. So imagine I made an offer on a property that I'm buying $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 million. I'm like, I'm out. We're in the middle of it. Imagine a realtor's about to make $200,000 in commission, $50,000 in commission, $400,000 in commission. We're out. We're not doing this. This is not a good investment. If this takes place, if you want to go to the next slide, Rob, if you could on that Instagram post. My number one job, he says, will be moving people from New York to Florida. Again, based on the results, clients are going to hold off on making any kind of investment in New York City. By the way, he does not benefit from saying this. No, you guys understand, like his business is New York business. He doesn't benefit from saying something like this. He wants people to stay in New York to do well, but at the same time, it benefits him as well if people leave because they're buying and selling. Rob, if you want to go to the last slide, if there is one. Okay, so this is from Ryan Serhant. Now, why are so many business owners, entrepreneurs concerned about what's going on here with Mamdani? Rob, can you put up the video clip about Mamdani winning and what happened there with the primaries? This is Eric Adams, okay, Mayor Eric Adams, who says, you know, all the claims that Mamdani is making of what he's going to do to New York, he can do today if he really wanted to. Rob, go ahead and play this clip.
Mayor, it's not just defund the police, this candidate, Democratic Socialist. He wants to freeze the rent. He wants city-run grocery stores, social workers to replace the police because that's going to help. He wants $60 billion of debt fund for affordable housing. He wants free buses, no cost for childcare, baby baskets for newborn, and a $30 minimum wage.
Look at this mess.
How can someone vote for this?
He's a snake oil salesman. Mm-hmm. He will say and do anything to get elected. Think about this for a moment. He wants to raise 1%. He wants to raise tax on 1% of New Yorkers' high-income earners.
Wow.
As the mayor, you don't have the authority to do that. You know who has the authority to do that? An assemblyman, which he is. He wants to do free buses. He could have done it at assemblyman.
There you go.
He doesn't understand the power of government and how you must making sure you improve your economy, raise the standard of living. And this is what we've done in the city. And I'm looking forward to being on the campaign trail and showing New Yorkers we can't go backwards.
Now, here's what's interesting. Vinny, you're somebody that lived in New York for quite some time. Mamdani's running as a Democrat.
Yes.
Eric Adams is running as an independent. Chris Awila is running as a Republican. When you see this happening in New York, one, how do you feel about Mamdani? Do you think his chances are high that he could possibly win, or do you think Mayor Adams is going to come back and win?
Well, first of all, on Tuesday we were talking about it, and we were like, yeah, he's winning. Cuomo has no point, but just to add a couple of more things that he's previously called for: abolishing NYPD, abolishing prisons, abolishing medical bills, abolishing private health care insurance, banning all guns. I want you guys, even though New York is pretty strict, legalizing sex work, safe injection sites, because that works in San Francisco, right, Tom?
Perfect. Yeah.
Wow.
Think of
This
like an ATM for crack. Wrong. Yeah, an ATM machine for crack. Ending cash bail, decriminalizing drug possession, ending sentencing enhancements, and ending all cooperation with ICE. So, meaning the sanctuary city thing, they want nothing with ICE to have to do with it. I personally, Pat, I'm not a fan of it. And, just the pool of leadership from New York. I know I mentioned.
So again, I want you guys to hear that. Let me go over to Tom real fast, because Tom, he's here we go. Here's Tom. All right. Tom is going to give you the financial stuff behind it. Good friend of mine. Here we go.
Going to get that nasty. Is it really an overreaction? Oh my God, everyone's going to move to Florida. People are going to leave. It's going to be this. Is it really that bad of a thing in New York, or is it just an overreaction?
I don't think it's an overreaction. We just saw one of the largest, most influential realtors in New York saying, I'm getting phone calls now to stop a deal. And a deal in New York City is $1 million, $2 million deal on the low end for, condos and nice apartments and things like that. And now you're talking about this. I look at it this way. There is a great contradiction that happened in New York City. They had a large rally, one of the larger rallies. No authoritarianism, no kings. But if you listen to this guy and you listen to everything, you take the guns away from the citizens. And by the way, there was a shooting at a church, one person tragically killed, but then a highly trained, licensed citizen security guard takes out the threat. Not a multi-person shooting, one person, God rest their soul, and the shooter neutralized. But now you're going to take guns away from the citizens, you're going to defund the police, and you're going to do all the rest of these things, make it free. And when that devolves, that will devolve very, very quickly. And when it devolves, guess what? The people can't rise up because the people are not armed just to protect their homes. And you know what you get? You get an authoritarian Muslim that's the mayor of your city. This is not an overreaction. There are very real things that are happening right now. It's a populist thing. If he tries to get the $30 minimum wage through, Eric Adams was on a morning show on Fox talking about things. Hey, he needs the assemblyman to help him. And he is an assemblyman. And so why couldn't he get all this done now? So as mayor of New York, this is not an overreaction. This is the tip of an iceberg. This could head toward Dearborn very, very, very quickly. And I just ask New Yorkers, those of you that voted for him, look down the list of things and ask yourself very honestly, where do you think the outcome is at? What do you think the end is at? Does the mayor become a Muslim authoritarian figure? I think so. But you just marched in the streets over the past weekend and said no authoritarianism. Which is it?
By the way, you know what's interesting about this, Tom? I posted something on Twitter and I said, New York may have gotten more conservative in the 2024 election, but the Democratic Party moved further left.
Yes, they did.
I think you're 100% correct.
They moved further left. So as left as they were, they didn't decide to come to the center. Let's go a little bit more to the center. They're like, no, let's go a little bit more to the left. Let's go turn this thing into Detroit. Let's go turn this thing into Dearborn. And you know what's the crazy thing about businessmen that live in your community? Who are the first people that are hated? Those who make money, those who are successful. In every space, those are the people that always get hated the most. In the family, who is the most hated person? Probably the guy with the most money or the gal with the most money. It's always the same thing. People can't stand success because they're envious of it until eventually, what happens? Those people say, you know what? You don't appreciate us? No problem. will leave to a different place.
Sure.
Ken Griffin, I was at an event in St. Regis with a bunch of wealthy people that are billionaires, and the entire 8-hour meeting, 40% of the meeting, everyone brought up Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin left Chicago. Ken Griffin left Chicago. Ken Griffin left Chicago. Ken Griffin. We're going to miss Ken Griffin, but you know what? We're going to recover from Ken Griffin. It's like the entire meeting was about Ken Griffin. Okay, so now all these people that you guys hate in New York that are the business owners, the builders, the billionaires, you don't think they have 100 other places to go to? It's as if every person that voted for Mamdani in New York needs to go out there and buy the book Atlas Shrugged and just read it. Go read the book and read the history of what happens when you push these types of guys out. There's plenty of places for them to go to. But again, we'll see what happened by November between now and then. Maybe Eric Adams is going to come out. And since they're both kind of Democratic Party, but he went to the independent side, who knows if an independent can win in New York? We'll find out.
Guys, New York, man. New York, you have a problem, a big problem. If this guy is elected, it's curtains for New York. There'll be a mass exodus of capital out of that city. And I know they're banking on the middle class to stay there. They're not going to. They can't stay there because they can't afford to stay there. So again, New York, and there's a gentleman on Kick. I want to read it real fast. This is what he actually said. He said, New York, no, it's New York. My province was under the new Democratic Party, the proudly Socialist Party, and the economy tanked. The same thing happened in BC, British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, ETC. I think this guy he's Canadian. We had a socialist coalition government. New York is going to become mini Canada. Wow, that is a statement. He said we pay Cali prices with Missouri purchasing power. Damn. Keep going. Again, this is somebody that's been under this, guys. He said, look at what happened to the province of British Columbia, BC. That is New York's future. The premier of BC says and puts the same shit into practice. You can go to government facilities and do heroin. So he's saying Canada is already doing this already. Jesus. Wow. It says Vancouver is the vent capital of North America, and New York would definitely take that spot due to its population. Guys, this is somebody in the chat on Kick. If you ain't following us on Kick, follow us on Kick. That's giving you that's under socialism, right? He's giving you a peek of what's to come. New Yorkers, listen. The guy wants to raise the taxes from 7% to 11%. So more taxes? The dude wants to have rent controls. Huh? What? He wants to have city-controlled grocery stores. Control the pricing of food, which just means the city controls grocery stores. Huh? Free this, free that, free. Nothing is free. You got to pay for something. Nothing is free, guys. I'm really questioning sending my kids, sending my children to college. If this is what's going to come out of college, this thinking is trash. Wow. Sean or Gene, thanks so much, man, for your wisdom on here, brother, because you are bringing an intellect into this thing that other folks don't understand, man, because you're already under the system already. Listen to this man. Let me read it again for the folk in the damn back row. He says, New York, New York, my province was under the new Democratic Party, the proudly Socialist Party, and the economy tanked. That means went to shit. The same thing happened in BC, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, etc. We had a socialist coalition government. New York is going to become mini Canada. It is over, New York, if this cat is elected. It is a wrap. It's a wrap. Did you guys see what he wanted real quickly, guys? Did you guys see this? Let me read you what he wants. What do you? Let's read this. Let's read what he wants real fast. The dude wants. He wants. Let me go back. Freezing the rent. So rent controls. Terrible strategy. City-run grocery stores. Right? He wants. Come on. No cost child care. Social workers to replace the police. Defund the police. That BS. $70 billion of debt to fund affordable housing. That never works. This is no cost child care. Baby baskets for newborns. A $30 minimum wage. Who the hell is going to pay $30 for minimum wage? This is what he wants. And y'all voting for this BS? If he wins, you deserve what's coming your way, New York. And I would not be surprised if it's a ghost town. I'll be out of there. Hey, you better prepare, New Yorkers. You better prepare. If this cat wins, you need to have a contingency plan in place to move the hell out of New York City. Get out. Get out. Reserve your U-Haul truck now. Reserve your movers now. It's ridiculous. But if you stay there and this guy gets reelected and this guy gets elected, you deserve what's coming your way. You do. Jeez, wow. Y'all Democrats, you literally went all the way to the damn left, guys. You can't make this up at all. Well, guys, man, hey, real quickly, guys, I'm often asked if someone can pick my brain, guys. Hey, newsflash. I'm on an app called Manek. That's Patrick Bet-David's new app. You just saw him talk on Valuetainment, guys. If you want to ask me any questions about business, finance, marriage, life, structure, hey, message me on Manek. I answer in 24 hours. I answer extremely quick, guys. Just scan on the QR code or click on the link in the show notes below, guys. Real simple, guys. And also, real quickly, guys, as well. Hey, I'm always now is the time to begin to buy real estate. Guys, I'm trying to tell you right now, guys, this is the greatest time in real estate to begin to buy real estate. Now, why do I say that? It's very simple. Real simple, guys. In the commercial real estate sector right now, that's called commercial paper. Commercial paper is what is lent on apartment complexes, warehouses, office buildings, public stores, anything 5 units and above. That's considered commercial. Well, in 2020, guys, right? In 2020, right? People, those investors got that short-term bridge financing, interest only, which means nothing goes to principal, with a 5-year balloon. Again, this was in 2020, right? Right at the beginning of COVID. 5-year balloon. What happens is at the 5-year balloon, you have to pay off that principal balance. And they refinance it at a 2% interest rate, 3% interest rate. Well, those loans have matured now. And they have to be refinanced out, guys. And now to be refinanced up to a 7, 8, 9% interest rate. So you go from 3% to 7%, 8%, 9%. That's a big uptick. Unfortunately, the cash flow in this current state does not support that 5-point uptick in rates, in the rate, guys. So what happens? The real estate paper on the commercial side is beginning to rupture. It's going to be a bloodbath, and your partner is ready. So I am giving away a free ebook. It's called Distressed Property Investing. Right, guys? It is how to locate and acquire a distressed property in your city, county, or state, guys. This works for residential and commercial. All right, residential and commercial. Guys, scan on this QR code on the screen right here, or what you can do at the exact same time, guys. If you can't do that at all, don't you worry. Direct message me the word real estate is on the keys, and my team will get you out this link right here for you to go download this free book. It is free. Don't want no money from you at all. We just want to get you the information. It is free. We walk through a technique to where you can actually contact your city to get a list of these properties damn near for free. That technique is detailed in this book. It's free. Don't want nothing from you at all. Just want to get you the information. All right, guys? All right? And then lastly, guys, real quickly, pay attention, guys, to cryptocurrency. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST, me and Cliff are going to talk about how the FHA is now using crypto as an asset. Ooh, y'all better tune in to Real Estate Friday Live tomorrow. If you don't believe me, guys, here's a sneak peek of what we talk about in Real Estate Live. Here we go. What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
Guys, tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST, Cliff, a licensed appraiser and investor GC, and your partner Liddell, a real estate investor and private equity investor as well. We're going to talk about all things real estate. And guys, we're going to focus on this topic right here. Right, I'm going to get rid of this thing real fast, y'all. My bad, y'all. Right here. How crypto could drive down mortgage rates. And we're going to talk about what the Federal Housing Authority has actually done when it came to crypto. Ooh, this could be a game changer. I told you this was coming. I told you it was coming. And the mastermind behind this is the guy on the screen, the current sitting Secretary of Commerce. Yes, sir, guys. You want to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST right here on all these platforms. All right, guys. And again, lastly, guys, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Let me get back to it. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., guys, we'll say Friday Live. Come kick with your partner. Now, guys, you know I end it every single time, guys. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you. See you next week. You know I end it every time before you leave, and while you can, baby. You see that thing. Take that picture for your mom and them how your partner. God bless you guys. See you next week. Peace.
Okay, so you did fixes and flips first, or were they? Now it sounds like you're more buying whole. Okay, so you're wholesale first. Okay,
because I was broke. I had no credit, I had no money, so I had to get some money coming in. So I learned how to do wholesale.
And you were doing wholesaling at the good time too.
2000.
When it wasn't so saturated. There was.
I kind of saw the debacle coming. Okay, it didn't make any sense. I was like, wait a minute, how can you lend out to retail buyers 99.7%?
Yeah,
just a little bit of a down tick. It's insolvent.
And you got to remember, in some states, because I lived in Florida at the time, you could have loan to value above 100% of your property.
Right.
The first property that I bought, it was 110%. We left the bank with like $30,000.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It was amazing to me. I was like, why am I not doing this all the time? But then clearly 08, 09 let me know why people shouldn't have been doing that all the time.
08, 09, that's why I made a lot of lion's share of my money.
Wow.
People were
Okay.
actually running from the cows. I was running to it.
Of course.
Because I saw it was coming.
Okay.
A lot of my business colleagues back then were buying flippers.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was wise for me to share 50% of my profit with Uncle Sam. He didn't do no work.
Okay.
So why would I give him free money?
Of course. Of course.
I said,
Of course.
okay, how can I make sure I'm still legal, but keep the lion's share of the cash flow?
Of course.
So I began studying the tax code with my accountants and CPAs, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy a whole lot of properties. Now watch this. I actually buy a lot of properties. I take home money when I actually acquire it. Every single time.
Okay, you need to break that down just a little bit.
If you wanted to know how successful real estate investors make money with their acquired real estate and not when they sell it, click on the link below or swipe up and download our free ebook, Distressed Property Investing. The blueprint is in the ebook. Stay blessed, holla at your partner, and download the ebook today.